and a very warm welcome to all of you in this session of Shavasana Dhyan, or a unique tool for meditation, an extremely easy method that our special guest is going to share with us today. Today is a very auspicious day because today is the International Day of Yoga, June 21st, and this was declared as the International Yoga Day by the United Nations in 2014. I am going to share my screen with all of you. And introduce our guest properly. So my name is Hira Khorane Kulkarni, and as some of you know, I have founded Vish Khorane Foundation in 2016, and it's a non-profit NGO, and our objective is to promote healing methods and alternate therapies along with many other objectives. So this is the reason why this series has been started, Heal with Hira. So today's session, as I mentioned earlier, is about Shavasana Dhyan. Shavasana is a kriya we do in yoga practice, which is the culminating asana for yoga sessions. Dhyan means meditation. So how to use this tool while doing Shavasana. Our special guest today is Mr. Sudhir Bapat, who is an MTech from IIT Bombay, India, a very qualified person. He has a software development company named SII Technologies in Pune. He is also the disciple of Yogi Dr. Samprasad Vinod of Shanti Mandir, which is the classical yoga and meditation center in Pune, India. He has been a student there for the last 12 years. Here is the website if you need more information about their organization called Shanti Mandir. Here's their phone number and their website. So today's workshop will include 4 aspects of meditation, 4 stages in Shavasana meditation, things not to be done during meditation, things to be done during meditation. So I met Mr. Sudhir Bapat 2 years ago when he visited his son in California. And he was kind enough to visit my place and teach me and a few of my friends this unique method. And I have been practicing this for the last 2 years, and it is extremely easy method and very, very beneficial. So this is the reason why I have invited our special guest. So I will start our session and stop sharing my screen now. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Bapat, to this session.
Namaste.
And thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this show. Because of the pandemic that's happening all over the world, I decided to do these sessions live on Facebook so we can reach a wider audience with this valuable knowledge. So over to you, Mr. Bapat.
Thank you very much, Hira. It was really a great pleasure 2 years ago to visit you, and thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences with that I've been practicing for the past about 14, 15 years on Shavasana meditation and meditative life or meditative living. So people, when they talk about meditation or when they want to go with meditation, uh, they have a concept of making your mind peaceful. Now, the mind is such a tool given to us that it doesn't really understand you or doesn't obey you so easily. So you can't make it, peaceful or make it calm. And that's why my guru, Dr. Samprasad Vinod, about 45 years ago, he he came up with this very unique way and step-by-step method for uh, the meditation technique that he has come up with is uh, is very simple, and being a step-by-step method, it allows you to go through the whole process in a very seamless manner. So,
Actually, when we talk about meditation, people are very, very scared because they always think that I have to sit down in certain kind of posture without moving, and I have to make my mind thoughtless, and they never get started. So this is a very good opportunity for all of us to learn this simple technique, and let's go through
oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah, surely. But before, I think, before we enter into or before we try to understand this technique, let me try to explain what is meant by meditation. There are four important aspects which need to be considered when you are thinking of meditation. Okay. The meditation includes, or the one of the primary and most important aspect of any meditation is thought-free state. As you rightly said, the thought-free state is one of the most important and prime aspect of meditation. Now, it is, I remember, as you have rightly said it as thought-free. A lot of people have a misunderstanding of talking about it as thoughtless state. So in true meditation, you don't become thoughtless. You don't lose the ability to think. In fact, you improve it so much that you can think without any prejudice and without any giving any labels. So the completely free form of thinking appears to you, and because of this you become actually thought free. The thoughts, the thinking process is completely and very nicely understood by you, and the thoughts, you actually make complete friends with those thoughts, and being in harmony with those thoughts, being friends with those thoughts, allow you to uh, start thinking in a specific direction or for a specific purpose. When you do that, the thoughts which are related to that particular situation or that particular line of thinking, they come to you. And none of the thoughts which are outside of that purview, which are unrelated to this, they don't come to you, they don't disturb you. So in this manner, when you do this, the thinking is extremely quality qualitatively improved, because the unnecessary thoughts which clutter your mind and distract you, they are all gone, because you make true friendship with the thoughts. So that is thought free state, making complete friends with the thoughts and become free from the thoughts. You tell them, hey, come and let's do some work. So they come, the related thoughts come to you, you finish them and then say, okay, thank you very much, now you stay calm, I'll go for something else. So those thoughts come to you. So this kind of smooth and seamless way of thinking starts happening to you. You don't have to really do anything special. If you do this correct form of meditation, and if you reach that thought-free state properly, so that's the first aspect of good meditation. The second aspect is being aware of the of being thought free. Now, this is something extremely important. The second aspect also. Uh, Consider yourself in very calm and quiet sleep. During that time, you are not having any thoughts. You are not disturbed by any thoughts. However, at that point of time, you are not aware that I am thought free or I don't have any thoughts. So this is a very big difference between a calm and quiet sleep and a meditative state. These two things are separated. Very important separation point is the awareness. Being aware of the thought-free state that you have at this point of time. So that's very important aspect of the meditation. So calm and quiet sleep and meditation are these two things are distinguished from each other because of this awareness aspect of the meditation. Now, being thought free and being aware of it at the time of being thought free. Once this happens, yeah, your whatever you do or whatever you think or whatever emotions you show, they are they come to you in a very seamless manner, and that's why the third aspect, which is which can be called off as effortless ease. Yeah. So effortless ease. So you are at ease with yourself. You are at ease with the environment that you are in at that point at any point of time, and that you go into that state in a very effortless and very seamless manner. You don't have to struggle to be calm. You don't have to struggle to be at ease. It just happens to be at ease in an effortless manner. So this is the third aspect of a typical or a good meditation. And the fourth aspect of this meditation is a state of bliss or state of happiness, a joy, a joyful state comes to you. The when you do this meditation in the right manner, when you reach that state of meditation, you get a glimpse of the or higher state of intelligence. Uh, some people call it God in various languages and various traits of human philosophies in various geographies. They call it differently. It is a super state, super powerful entity you can call, which is everywhere, available everywhere, is present everywhere, but it can't be easily perceived. It is present but cannot be perceived. Many
So
people call it.
you are able to connect higher consciousness through this process.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are able to connect to this higher consciousness, and in that meditative state, you get that connection with you. And just because of that connection, the happiness, the bliss that is part of that super consciousness, higher state of consciousness, that comes to you, and so you become happy. Now, this happy state or joyful state is quite different from the normal joy or happiness that you typically see around. When you see something very beautiful, yeah, some beautiful flower or some similar thing, you feel very happy and comfortable. When you achieve something, uh, you are working towards something, working towards some goal, and you achieve it. When you achieve that goal, you feel very happy. But in that happiness, there is excitement. The happiness that you get, that you perceive when you get connection with that higher state of consciousness, higher state of intelligence, The happiness is there, but there is no excitement. It soothes you, it calms you down. That is the most important aspect of this different or unique type of happiness. So these four aspects. The first is being thought free. In Sanskrit, the name for this, the being thought free is nirvichar, no thoughts, nirvichar. So being nirvichar or being thought free is the first aspect. Being aware of it. In Sanskrit, it is called jagruk, sajag. So we are aware of it. You are you become you. Yeah, actually, there's no other alert. I was thinking of the other word as alert, but alertness has some sense of uh, tension or stress behind it. So awareness is, I think, the most appropriate word for it. Being aware, so, or sajag is the second aspect. The third aspect is effortless ease. The effortless ease is, in Sanskrit you can call it sahaj, and the fourth aspect is bliss or joy, which in Sanskrit you can call it ananda. So these four aspects must be considered, and they have to be part of your meditation. And this particular, another point about this happiness is, during the process of meditation, okay, this happiness is seen, is perceived in every step. It's not that you follow a very tedious, arduous task, and then at the end of it, you feel happy. No, it is not like that. At every stage, during the process of this meditation, you must be happy. You must have that sense of happiness, sense of comfort all throughout. So, the kind of technique that my guru, Dr. Samprasad Vinodji, has devised, has come up with, has, that particular technique includes all of these four aspects in built in into this. So let's get into the technique, if you allow me to.
Yes, please.
So
All of our goal, everyone's goal is to be in a blissful state, because that's our nature, but we are not able to. And most people are fearful of getting into any kind of meditative practice, because of this notion that this is a very tedious process. So we would be grateful to learn this from you. So let's proceed.
yeah, okay. So in the we call it Shavasana meditation. Those who have known yoga little bit, they will know what a Shavasana is. Shavasana is lying down on the ground, on the or on any surface, on your yoga mat or whatever, or even on bed. Uh, you lie down with legs a little bit away from each other. You keep your hands little bit away from your body. You keep your eyes gently closed and keep your neck either straight like this, or maybe you can just put it little tilted either side, either on the left or on the right side. Keep your palms facing towards the sky. So, and the fingers should be in very easy, effortless manner. Don't stretch them like this, or don't close the close them like this. Keep them in very comfortable, relaxed position like this. Yeah. So that's the position of the arms. So as far as feet are concerned, the toes, if you put them towards the outside and heels little bit inside, that becomes a comfortable position. So taking a comfortable position is stage one. Out of the four stages of lying down form of meditation, the stage one is lie in a very comfortable manner. There is one more aspect to it. Because this meditation can be practiced anywhere, it is not necessary that you have to lie down. We start with lying down form of meditation, or we tell people to lie down because that is the most comfortable and most easy position of your body wherein if you are asked to stay stationary without moving for say 10-15 minutes or maybe half an hour, you don't get disturbed, you don't get perturbed, you don't get stressed that how can I stay in this position for half an hour, because it is extremely comfortable position. But it is possible to do this meditation in a while sitting in a chair also. Only important aspect is take a position, take a posture which will make you extremely comfortable, and you don't have to feel to move, urge to move, because some internal uneasiness or uncomfortable feeling internally that you get. So that kind of any position can be taken which will make you feel comfortable. Lying down is the most easy position out of those. So that is stage number one. In stage two, what you do is scan your body from toes. There is toes, which is fingers on your feet, till the top of your head. So start scanning each and every part of your body. Okay, feel the each and every part of that body. Right? For example, toes of left foot. So stay there. Try to feel them. Try to experience those toes. Yeah. Don't have to. You should not think about them. You should not imagine them. For example, when you think about toes, you see there are five things protruding there, and the thumb is a little wider than the other toes. This kind of imagination or this kind of thought can come to your mind. That is not what is important. That is not what is supposed to be done. You just have to actually feel each and every part of the body. Okay, so feel the toes of your left foot. Then feel the toes of your right foot. Then you can go to the heels. So in that manner, left, right, you go from toes, come up until your shoulders. You go to left shoulder, right shoulder, then go back to your hands. Look at feel or experience the fingers of your left hand, then the right hand, then your wrist, and again left, right, do alternately each and every part of the body, part of your hands. Come back to your uh, come back to your shoulders. Then you go up on your face, all the face, and till the top of your head. So go slowly and steadily. Don't rush. Okay.
Uh,
Give
can,
it some.
can you tell our audience how long this scanning process takes? A few minutes, like 5 minutes, or what?
Okay. Very good question you raised. There is, really speaking, no specific time limit that you should put on. When you talk about time limit, then you are conscious about what time am I going at the right speed or not going at the right speed. So that is something which is to be avoided. Okay. What is important is if you can do it till you are comfortable with it. All throughout our life, when if we are not doing any such meditation, all throughout our life we spend our life for achieving this or achieving that, ensuring something this happens, ensuring something that doesn't happen, or so, no, some such things. You are never aware of whether I, who is doing all of these, whether I am comfortable or not. Nobody pays attention to it. You are so much engrossed in achieving many things from outside of the world, and putting them and storing them inside or with you. And you never pay attention to whether I am comfortable. In meditation, this is something that you must be aware of. You must constantly keep a watch on. Am I comfortable? That's fine. So it is not necessary to put any time limit. Okay, but generally you can do it in about 3 4 5 minutes time. But even if when you actually when you get acquainted with this meditation, you can quickly finish this particular scan in just a minute or so. That's also possible. It is no need to keep a tag on the watch to spend any specific amount of time. Being comfortable is important. So pay attention to being comfortable internally, inner state, being comfortable. That is what is important. Okay. So that is second stage of this meditation. So in the first stage, we made our body, we took a posture where your body is comfortable. In the second stage, you got aware of each and every part of your body. In the third stage, you pay attention to the movement of your stomach. When you breathe in and breathe out, the stomach gets expanded and goes inside, contract. The stomach goes out and goes in. So this slow and steady movement of the stomach is to be observed, is to be felt. Okay. In this, there is a possibility to to feel like controlling the movement of the stomach. The movement of the stomach happens with the breath. When you breathe in or breathe out, the stomach goes up and goes down. So this movement should be seamless. You should be aware of this movement. Through the movement of the stomach, you become aware of your breath. Breathing in and breathing out, you become aware of that movement, of that happening, which automatically happens whether you want it or not. You constantly breathe in and breathe out.
So
Yeah. So
we do not breathe slowly or breathe consciously. We just let it happen.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. No control and no concentration. Completely to be removed. These two words, these two topics, these two aspects should be completely removed from whole of this meditation. Whenever you are meditating, never exercise any control whatsoever. Never exercise or never try to do any kind of concentration. Okay, because that is completely that disturbs the state of meditation. The meditative state is disturbed. So never do that. When you try to breathe slowly or try to hold your breath, that tendency happens when you become aware of it. Okay, but you have to stop it. That stopping is important. And as you move on slowly, that tendency subsides, and you are able to watch your breathing in and breathing out, and the slow and steady breathing in, breathing out, and at the same time, synchronous with that, your stomach movement, which is breathing in, which is moving up and moving down. So this happens in a very slow manner, because during this process the number of thoughts typically reduce, and their level or their energy, when they come, the thoughts when they come to you, their energy with which they come in, that also drops. They come in, but they don't really try to overpower you. So this kind of state, when you reach, your breathing in and breathing out typically becomes slow. Okay, but you should not make it slow. You should not try to control it, to let it control it, to get it to slow state. It will automatically happen. Okay? So that is the third stage of meditation. In the fourth and the last stage of meditation, you pay attention to the thoughts that are coming in. Typically, not necessarily always, typically when you reach this stage, the number of thoughts are reduced. So it becomes very easy for you to pay attention to those thoughts. When you pay attention to the thoughts, couple of few things you must remember. The one of the most important thing is, don't give any reaction whatsoever to any thought. Now let's go back a little bit on this. What is a thought, and why do the thoughts come to your mind? They start appearing. If you go into the details, if you go to the root of this particular thing, you will understand that your experiences maybe yesterday, day before, or 2 months ago, or 2 years, 10 years, 20, 40 years ago. Those experiences that you had gone through sometime in the past, you have not you have not gone through them in a holistic manner. Either your either your intellect had something to say and you didn't allow it to say, or your mind had to say something and you didn't allow it to. So some such thing happens typically when you go through all your normal day-to-day experiences, and such experiences uh, that those you have gone through in a little half-hearted, those experiences are stored inside. Those the memories of those experiences are stored inside, and when a right time is conducive atmosphere, conducive time arrives, those thoughts, those experiences come out in the form of thoughts. And then you, whatever you had not done at that time, that you start talking to yourself. Hey, I should have done that. Oh, no, this guy should have behaved properly, or some such thing. Or sometimes, oh wow, great, what a great thing I did, and it was so nice. So both good responses or bad responses, bad have bad impressions or good impressions. So these kind of one of these kind of impressions remain, and then you start talking to yourself. This talking is basically giving reaction. So that must be stopped. Now, by saying I will not give any reaction, it's not so easy. Okay, you start giving those reactions. It is you're so habituated to it, so you just inadvertently you start giving reactions. The moment you realize that I've started giving reactions, you stop it. Now, while stopping, you have to be very gentle. You don't force yourself, you don't curse yourself. Hey, what the hell, I was not supposed to give reaction, and why did I give? I will not do it now. So this is control, this is cursing yourself. So don't do that. Be very gentle. Okay, don't be supportive of yourself of giving reactions. That's one very important aspect. But don't curse yourself also. So the balance of these two can be obtained, can be struck if you are completely gentle. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So most people have this question, while meditating, my arm starts itching, or something is happening to my body. How do I address those things? And my second question is, what happens if I fall asleep? Would that be okay? So if you could address those two questions.
Okay, sure. Good questions you ask. Uh, let's answer the first question. If you feel the itching sensation somewhere on your body, uh, or you feel like making some movement and touching some part of your body, what do? You The awareness, I've told you, awareness is very important aspect of meditation. So try to be aware of the feeling, the itching or whatever other feeling that you have. Try to be aware of those feelings, whatever that thing is, and try to be with that feeling. And after being with that, being aware of that feeling for a little while, my experience is that the itching sensation goes away. However, it may not be that way. It is not necessary. When I started doing it, I had to that the itching sensation didn't go away. Then very gently and slowly you can move your hand, and that's it. No issue. And then slowly again, like slowly scratch your that part, and then again go back and take that position. Do it in a very easy, seamless manner. That's what is important. Being gentle is an important aspect of managing this meditation. You have to be very gentle with yourself. Normally, when you live your life, you are not gentle with yourself.
Yes.
Okay, you are so engrossed in putting focused on your goal, on your achievements, that you're not gentle with you. You don't really bother about whether I'm comfortable, whether I'm how I'm behaving, whether I'm able to do it or not. All those kind of things are take completely backseat. So that is not during the meditation you can, right? During the meditation there is no real goal.
Mm.
So in this, you can afford to be very gentle. You can afford to be lax. Okay, but being lax is also has other bad effects, like what you said about sleep. There is the possibility of falling asleep. Now, what happens is go again to the root cause. Why do you fall asleep? Why do you feel like sleeping? It is because you are tired. If you are not tired, you will feel energetic. But if you are tired, you will feel sleepy. You will feel like sleeping. So if you fall asleep, it means you have not been giving enough opportunity for your body, for your mind to rest and recoup yourself. So you need more sleep. It's okay. Towards the beginning, when you start practicing, towards the beginning, you may fall asleep. That's all right. There's no harm, no problem about it. But if it starts continuing and never stop, you every time you start doing meditation, you fall asleep. Every time you start doing meditation, you fall asleep, and nothing else happens to you. Then you need to really consult and go to the root cause of why that is happening. But towards the beginning, it is okay to fall asleep. It will not continue. It should not continue.
So I
Yeah.
can share my own experience with this practice for the last 2 years. When I started doing it, my head never got comfortable. So I had to
Ah,
keep changing positions and things like that. But with regular practice and as you said, we need to be gentle with ourselves. I was able to overcome that, and I don't feel uncomfortable at all now.
this is one very good. This point that you have raised is very good point. Normally, when you lie down, okay, when you sleep, you are used to taking a pillow. Yeah. So when you lie down for shavasana, at that time, that habit comes out, and you don't feel comfortable. It's okay to take pillow. There's no problem. If your head is not comfortable, yeah, take a pillow. Try to take a pillow of different size and adjust yourself. There is no problem. Being comfortable is important. Okay, so you don't have to struggle to be comfortable. So you can take pillow or any such when you lie down, you don't have to lie down on a hard surface. You can take a soft yoga mat or any such thing to make yourself comfortable. Okay, so that is the these are the four aspects of meditation. Yeah. So this is the way you proceed doing this meditation. So would you like the audience to spend some time in doing this meditation right now?
Uh, we could try that.
Yeah.
If you could give directions to people,
Yeah, sure. I can
able to.
slowly and softly talk about it, and let's be I'll give some instructions. This is very very important aspect in this shavasana meditation. We do not give any instructions because this giving instructions and making you do it is part of hypnotization. So that is something which is absolutely not good and not part of meditation at all. At all.
So you
Yeah.
will not encourage people to use those meditation apps and things like that. There are so many available where you listen to directions, and then music is playing. You listen to the music to meditate. So you will not recommend that.
Uh, Giving instructions is something which is bad. Playing a soft and calming, soothing music may not be such a bad thing. But the best thing is do it without any such gadgets. That is the best thing to do because you start getting dependent. upon that music. You start getting dependent upon those instructions, and that's not good for you. Okay, so we advocate complete independence from any such things, and it is possible. There is, towards the beginning, maybe you don't want to do this meditation in a very lighted environment with some loud music going on. These kind of situations are disturbing to the music. Okay, but you can have some soft lighting, soft music. If it is going on, it's okay to start with, but then you have to remember that I have to get away from it. You should not get dependent upon that. That is important. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. So,
So
so let's do a short meditation of Shavasana
yeah,
meditation.
so I'll give a small set of instructions, not too many. Okay. So request all of you to mm, get into a comfortable position. I don't know you are from which place you have joined this particular session. If you are at home, then you can probably lie down. But if you are somewhere else, you can be quietly and calmly seated somewhere in the chair, and take a very relaxed position in this fashion, you know like this, and keep your arms rested on the handset. Keep a little distance between your feet. Yeah, and take a extremely comfortable and relaxing position. That is the stage one. Now in the second stage, start from the toes and start going up slowly, left, right. Start going and scan each and every part of your body. If you skip something, it's okay. There's a possibility some thought comes and you get carried away with those thoughts. When you realize, come back to the place where you had left. At that time, don't try to remember where I left from. Start whatever part that you think of, and move ahead. Remember left, right, and bottom to top. That's what you have to remember. Don't struggle to get into or be aware of each and every part. It's okay to go skip something, or it's okay to do at a gross level. It's not absolutely not a problem. Don't struggle. Be comfortable. Be relaxed during this body scan. Now pay attention to the movement of your stomach, which is in sync with your breathing in and breathing out. Be aware of it. Stay with it. Do not try to control it. Do not concentrate on your breathing. Just be aware of it. Don't try to hold your breath or don't try to slow it down. Let it happen in a natural manner. Now turn your attention slowly to the thoughts that are coming to you. Let them come at their own wish. Let them stay at their own wish. Let them go away whenever they want. Don't give any reaction. Don't get entangled. Just be aware. If you start talking to yourself about any thought, the moment you realize you started talking, stop. Not giving reaction is important. Talking about that thought is giving reaction. The moment you realize you're giving reaction, you can stop. Now let us come out of this meditative state in a very slow and gentle manner. If you are lying down, slowly turn on one side, either to your left side or on your right side. Slowly and steady. If you are in a sitting position, don't do anything. Sitting on a chair, don't do anything. Those who have done it in lying down, turn on your side, and with the help of your both hands, with the support of your both hands and your shoulder possibly and your elbow possibly, slowly get up. Those who are in the sitting position in the chair, they can open their eyes. Everybody can actually open their eyes. Yeah.
That was really wonderful, Sudhirji.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've done this in a sitting position.
Uh,
I've
okay.
usually I lie down in Shavasana position, and this is the first time I did it in sitting position, and I feel really wonderful and very relaxed, and I could feel my thoughts getting less and less, and my mind getting clearer and clearer. Thank you.
Right. In between, there were a little bit of cluttering of thoughts. I think I could feel that, see that on your face. There was
So
little cluttering of thoughts, and then it subsided.
actually, a phone call came,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah, so that's why probably.
yeah,
But I didn't pay
possible.
attention to it, then I continued.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So this is the way of doing this Shavasana meditation. Okay. We call it Shavasana meditation because the lying down form, lying down is the most comfortable position. That's why we suggest a Shavasana position. But it is not absolutely necessary to do it only in Shavasana meditation. You can do it in sitting position also. There's no problem. Being bodily, taking a posture which is comfortable is important. That's what is that's what is to be remembered. Uh, do you have any questions? Uh,
I'm just going to share my slide, which I
uh,
prepared according to the notes you had sent me. So
yeah.
people can review, everyone can review what all the steps are and what is involved. So let me share
Got
my screen. Give me a second here to share. Okay, so you explained the four aspects of meditation: being thought free, being aware of it, effortless ease, joy, and then reaching joy or bliss. Uh, Let me,
So all these four aspects we did talk about. Yeah. Being thought free and not thoughtless. That's the important point to be noted. Being aware of being thought free at the time of being thought free, not later on. When you are calm and quiet, when you go through a calm and quiet sleep, when you get up, you feel happy, comfortable, and that time you are aware, I had a very nice and quiet sleep. That awareness comes afterwards. But during meditation, the time, the instant when you are at in the thought-free state, you are aware of it. So that's an important distinguishing character.
okay.
Then effortless ease and bliss or joy. So
And
we have gone through these four stages. taking a bodily comfortable position, yeah, which is typically lying down, but it could be in the sitting position in the chair. One more thing, if you are doing it in a sitting position in a chair, try to rest your head against some wall or some partition, or if the chair has a higher back, then you can rest your head onto that. That will make your neck being comfortable. Otherwise your
That's
neck
why what
gets
I didn't have that today.
right. So when you are doing it in sitting position, this can be remembered to adjust your chair. If it's not high back chair, adjust it so that you can you can rest your head against the wall or some such, or some partition or something like that.
Okay.
And second stage, being aware of each and every part of your body. When you start with, you can go to these smaller parts of the body, like toes, and then heel, and then calf, and these kind of small parts. But then once you get used to it, you can just say, think about the left foot, right foot, in that fashion. Okay, while being aware, one more thing that can be done is, while you are becoming aware of a particular part of the body, when you feel that, at that time you can, if you feel some tension or some stress in that part, yeah, you can feel that stress. Okay, and just by feeling that stress, sometimes the stress goes away, like what I said about your itching thing.
Mm.
When there is a itching, be aware of that, feel that itching, and if you are able to feel that a little longer, that itching sensation will go away. But if you are not, slowly you can scratch your that part. In a similar manner, when you feel some stress or a tension or a pain in some part of your body, feel that pain or feel that stress, and if the stress still remains, then your choice, you can move it a little bit so that the stress can go away or reduce. That is also possible. We have not put any restriction on any movement of your body when you are doing meditation. Only thing, make the movement after being aware of it, and do the movement in a very gentle manner. These two things, if you remember, it's okay to do some small movements of while you are doing meditation. And the third aspect is being aware of your breath. Yeah, slowly and gently, the breath, uh, breathing in and breathing out happens. Along with that, the stomach movement also is in sync with it. Towards the beginning, you be aware of the stomach movement, and slowly you can turn your attention to your breathing. So breathing and your mind has a direct relationship. So because of this process, the first initial two stages, uh, your mind becomes little calm, and so the breathing becomes slow. And as a result of that, your mind becomes even more calm. So that's the way, or that's the important aspect of this third stage. And in the fourth stage, be aware of your thoughts or emotions, whatever comes to your mind. And being aware of it without giving reaction to it is extremely important. Okay. You should not suppress the thought. You should not ignore those thoughts. Okay. Because suppressing the thoughts is, you are doing injustice to it. Ignoring the thoughts, you're not paying attention to it. So you give due importance, but don't get carried away with it. Don't get entangled in it. Don't get carried away with it. That is important. Okay. So let the thoughts come. I'm not going to be disturbed by those thoughts. I don't want to argue with those thoughts. I don't want to do practical. I don't have practically anything to do with those thoughts. But I'm going to be aware of those thoughts. Whatever the thought is, I'm going to be aware of it. I'm not going to ignore them.
Mhm.
That is important. So things not to be done during meditation. I deliberately put the things not to be done before things to be done, because all of these five things we keep doing it all the time when you live our day-to-day living. We want to be in total control of the situation
Yes.
that we are in. We want to do concentration, and then only you think that you will do quality work. So during meditation, although it is when you are not doing meditation, these two things form part of your life. But then as you keep doing meditation, it is possible to have control to some extent and a great amount of concentration without any stress whatsoever. It is possible to do it in this fashion, to live your life in this fashion through the meditation. The meditation is not something like you do it for 10 minutes in a day, and for the rest of the time you are on your own. No, the meditation that we are talking about is actually gets inculcated into your body, into your whole of you in a seamless and but slow manner, such that your whole of the day-to-day living changes for good. All throughout the day, you can feel that peace or comfort. All throughout the day, it stays with you. Yeah, whatever you do it without getting disturbed from inside. If the situation demand, you may do things in a fast manner. For example, do some juggling, or if you want to go and play some game, or you want to catch a bus, or some such thing. But inside you, you are at peace. Your body will run, your legs will help you run or do things fast, your hands will help you do things fast, but your mind will be completely at ease and completely at rest. It will not get agitated. So that is what will is the natural effect of meditation. You don't have to actually do it. It will naturally happen to you. So the third point that you should not do is, in the fourth stage, don't give any reaction to the thought or emotion that comes out at that in that state. Yeah, you should not get entangled into any thought or emotion. If you start giving reaction, you get entangled. So that entanglement is a result of giving reaction. So if you stop giving reaction, entanglement will not happen. Okay? And the last aspect is suppressing the thoughts or ignoring the thoughts. The thoughts are yours, right? Nobody has put those thoughts onto you. If they are yours, pay attention to it. It's like, your right hand wants to do something, and you scold your right hand and punish your right hand because it is not doing right thing. Do you do that? No, you don't do that. Yeah. So it is something like this. The thoughts are your own. You have stored those thoughts inside you for some reason or the other, inadvertently, possibly. But then they are yours. So pay attention to them. Okay. Don't ignore them. Don't suppress them. Pay attention to them. So these are the five aspects that you should not do. You should not be doing. And what you should do all throughout the meditation that you're doing, you should be very friendly with yourself. Okay. Yourself, as well as whatever you feel or experience, or the thoughts that they come out, be friendly with them. Yeah. How you treat a close friend of yours. Think about it. And that's the same treatment you give to those thoughts. When you establish that true friendship with your thoughts, you can tell them. When some thought starts coming up, popping up, you can tell it, okay, I'm doing this right now, so I can't pay attention to you right now. Wait for some time. Once I finish this, I'll look at you. I'll pay attention to you. I'll take care of you. You know, I mean, it's not actually speaking all of these words, but this is the thought process that goes inside. And that particular thought actually doesn't disturb you. It just gets calm and quiet. and it doesn't disturb you from doing something that you're doing, which is unrelated to that particular thought. Okay, and you can concentrate without giving in, without actually concentrating. It just happens. The concentration happens, and the work that you do, the quality of that work improves automatically. You don't have to do anything else, anything special, anything specific for improving the quality. The meditation in this manner gets into your life, day to day living, in a slow and gentle manner. Please remember, slow and gentle manner. And for that to happen, we have to practice this meditation on a routine basis, on a daily basis. Okay. Typically, in a busy life, it may not happen to do meditation more than once. But if it is possible, you can do short part, quickly go through this meditation at 4 stages, 4 times during the day. Once after getting up in the morning, then just before lunch, then once in the evening, and before you sleep. You can do it 4 times during the day. It is possible. I'm not insisting that unless you do it 4 times, you will not get the results. No, I'm not trying to say that. Okay, but you can do it 4 times during the day. The last the meditation, when you do it before sleeping, it is very likely that you will sleep. You will fall asleep during the meditation. Okay, and that is perfectly okay because you are tired with the whole of the routine that you have gone throughout the day. You are tired, your body is tired, your mind is tired, so your intelligence, your brain is tired, so you need rest. So it can happen that you fall asleep during the fourth stage. So no problem about it. But if you don't fall asleep and you complete that meditation in the night, after you completed meditation, you can fall asleep. You can sleep. There is no problem about it. So taking things in a friendly manner is important. Taking things in a playful manner, in a sporting manner, that's also extremely important. Okay, doing it in a sporting manner is what in sports you sometimes feel sometimes you have to face loss. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you have to take it in a right spirit. Think about what mistakes you did, learn and implement and change yourself. Practice. So keep practicing. So, so there is a possibility, as I said, you may feel like controlling your breath. No problem. The moment you realize I'm controlling, stop it. The moment you realize I'm giving reaction to the thoughts, stop. And at the time of stopping, don't curse yourself. Don't say, hey, what the hell? I didn't want to give reaction. And why the hell did I give the reaction? That kind of reaction which comes is a counter reaction to the reaction that you have already given. And you will never get out of the chain if you continue to do this. So don't give any counter reaction. Don't blame yourself. Don't curse yourself. Take it in a playful manner. It's okay. I am still learning. I have a lot to learn. So I'll learn. I'll do it in an honest manner. I'll show true honesty and I'll practice this, continue to practice this meditation. That's what you can tell yourself. Yeah? So do it in a playful manner. And all throughout, you should be very gentle to yourself. That's another aspect. Okay?
So that was a very wonderful and very informative session. I'm sure our audiences have learnt a lot and they will be able to implement this type of meditation right away in their life because it is so simple and it's kind of so natural also. Uh, so I want to again thank you, Sudhir Bapatji, for sharing your tremendous wisdom with us and your training in the Shanti Mandir and training in this aspect of meditation with us. I
Thank you very much. Thanks, Hira, for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences Hope you enjoyed. I mean, you have said that already. And my sincere request to you is practice to the audience. You have been doing it for the past 2 years, so I'm very pleased with it. My sincere request to all the audience, all the people in the audience, practice it and continue to do it. If there are any questions, please ask. I'll be ready. I'll be more than happy to answer. My guru is there. I have several fellow sadhaks with me. They all will be ready to help you out during this in your journey. They're there for helping you out.
So I would like to share Sudhir ji's email address. If you have any questions, you can email him. His email is sudhirbapat@gmail.com. SUDHIRBAPAT@gmail.com. Please don't hesitate to ask a question if you have any doubts as you start practicing. So thank you once again, Sudhir ji. I want to remind our audiences that this evening we have another talk with another expert from India, Dr. Manjari Gokhale, who will be joining us at 6:30 p.m. California time, PST, and 7 a.m. Uh, June 22nd, IST, Indian Standard Time. So once again, see you soon. Shubham Bhavatu.
Thank you very much. Thank you.